Welcome back to the Platform Podcast, episode 8.
And episode 8 with Colin. We're excited about this one.
Platform Skate Podcast.
We'll have to make a soundbite for that one.
Yeah. When we came up with the idea of the podcast and we talked about having guests on, you were definitely, like, when I started making a list, you were definitely on that list. We have to have Colin on.
Honored.
Oh, no, we are honored to have you.
Got it on my arm right there.
Yeah, I was actually thinking about that probably the only two people that I know of that have that on their body is you two.
Oh, you got it?
Yeah, I got it on my calf.
Oh, sick.
Yeah.
I didn't know that. I don't know if I've actually formally met you, Rolly.
Oh, I'm Raleigh.
Yeah. I don't know. Have I seen you in Portage before? Was that before? I left like 2013.
Oh, I didn't start skating till 2016,
Oh,
15.
Okay.
Yeah. So.
So unless, like, were you around when he came to the indoor a few times?
Once.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, when you're here once. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay.
And somebody was filming. You brought somebody and they were
Oh, yeah,
filming.
Tyson was filming, yeah.
This is sweet. I've watched like every minute of the episode so far.
That's
I'm
awesome.
Right up on it.
We really appreciate it, and we love the comments that you give us. It's so helpful for us, like, and encouraging. Like,
It's always like somebody popsicled themselves, and I'm commenting. I'm like, it was me. I did it. I broke the board with my gooch.
Yeah. I could not remember who it was. I couldn't remember if it was you or Joel.
Yeah.
And it, so you got to be careful, right? You don't want to say the wrong person.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's, I'm glad you clarified that and clarified it now for everyone else that didn't catch that comment on YouTube.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's just go back down memory lane here a little bit.
All right. So I think the first time I started hanging out with you, I was like in the mountain bike racing way back. And like I'd always go to the platform, the original outside platform with Trevor way back.
Oh, yeah.
When they had the metal ramps there, and we'd be hitting those ramps with our bikes.
Yeah.
And then I was racing, and I think it was like a rainy day or snowing or something, and we went to the indoor park. You let us all the bikers in.
Yeah, I was gonna say, like, all the mountain bikers would rent the park, I think.
Oh, that's what
happened.
Wow.
They would rent it for in the wintertime so that they could ride their mountain bikes on the ramps.
Yeah.
Yeah, and your dad was one of them at that time.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I remember biking in there and being like, this is sweet. Like I had played Tony Hawk, and I was like, man, I got to do this. And I remember there's like, what are those things called where they do those charity events at school where you got to do like laps around Island Park? And you got to raise money. Cyclothon.
Yeah.
I've never heard of those.
No?
You like got to get pledges and make money.
Oh.
And then I don't know what it was for charity or something like
so
that.
people would pledge, like, I'll give you like 10 cents for every kilometer.
Oh, yeah.
So you see how many kilometers you can do in a day.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember all I wanted, there was one prize that was a skateboard.
Oh, really?
And it was like so ridiculously high. Like I could not make the money. I tried all day and I couldn't do it. And I was so upset. My mom took me to Walmart to get a skateboard.
Oh, no.
And I got this, like, oh man, it was so bad. I
Literally
literally
knows all about that.
I couldn't even roll down the driveway. Like, it stopped me dead.
Yeah.
It was so bad. Just because I wanted like the cool, like it was like a cruiser shaped green one.
Oh,
had like a monster on it or something.
Okay.
I don't remember.
Were you living in town then, or were you out of town?
I was in town.
Oh, okay.
I was in Cocoa Platts.
Yeah.
And so for my birthday, I think it was my 14th birthday, my parents took me to Ollie's. Yeah. I don't think you had anything yet.
Yeah, I don't. Yeah,
it was
probably
like,
not.
It was
that would have been before.
Because the indoor skate park closed,
right?
And you hadn't opened up the shop yet.
Yeah. Yeah. So Ollie's was the only place in town that you would have been able to get anything. Yeah.
My parents spent probably way too much money on
I'm
a complete.
Guessing they did.
Like, probably over $300 back then for a complete. I got this like Chad Muska shorties board.
Nice.
Wow.
Classic.
Yeah, it had Destructo trucks that were like monster trucks. They were way too high.
Oh yeah.
And some blank wheels, but yeah, that's what started it off for me.
Oh, nice.
And then, and I just remember then you opened up the shop, and I was going there. I remember my first time going there, it was just full of stuff. You had a few boards in the corner, and you were just moving in.
Oh, okay.
That was the first time I went there.
Yeah.
And like everyone was skateboarding back then.
There was a big crew skateboarding.
Yeah, like everywhere I looked, there was people skating.
It was a weird time, like in between the indoor park and the shop, and that's why I started the shop, was because the indoor park closed, and the scene, it just felt like it died. Like the guys, kind of the generation before you, it just ended, and like at that time we still had the outdoor platform was still there.
There's like some wooden stuff.
Yeah.
But none of those metal ramps were there.
No ramps were there. Still. And so I would go there to skate with dudes, and there was no one there. And then I would meet up with guys, and I'd be like, hey, like I went skating, but nobody was there. So I kind of got bummed out, and I went home, and they were like, oh yeah, same thing happened to me. And I realized that the problem was there was no place for the skaters to connect.
There's no central location.
Yeah, no networking place.
No, and no one had phones.
No, for sure not back then. No, and so I was like, what do I do to fix this? And that's where the idea of the shop came, and it was successful in that. It wasn't successful in making any money and staying open.
Well, you gave away everything for so cheap.
I know. That was the problem, because it was my dudes. And, and it was like, yeah, I was the worst business owner. Because I just wanted everybody to skate. And so I'd make sure everybody had the stuff they needed to skate. And
it's a great place to connect, though. Like
the connection happened. And so, like you said, like there was a lot of guys skating then, because there was a place to connect. Guys would come, meet up with each other, and they'd go skate. And that's exactly what I wanted to happen.
Oh yeah. That was like, I go there every lunch break at school when you were first opening.
Yeah.
And definitely didn't want to go back to school, because you'd meet up with all your friends and you'd want to go skate.
Yeah.
Just down Tupper a little bit, there's like that 2-stair in front of a store, like
down
just
Tupper.
south.
At
the BMO?
BMO Bank?
Like
that one?
The bank?
Maybe. No, it was like right close, like pretty much your neighbors, like 2 buildings down. And it was like a stair with a metal edge on it.
Yeah. That's now it was a law firm there. Now it's Sandy Bay Child Family Services is in there now. Yeah.
Yeah, I learned so many tricks on that curb. Like all my 50-50s and the fakey 50-50s, and
that was all learned on there.
Yeah, I remember just doing it on that curb, and it was like, it had sandpaper on it.
Yeah.
Grip. So it was pretty bad, but
yeah, that's what I was thinking. I'm like 50-50s would have been hard on there because it had that rough edge.
It had the metal stuck up just enough.
Oh,
like you couldn't do nose slides or anything because you'd be going on that.
Yeah,
right.
On the grip, but like for 50-50s, it was fine.
Oh, okay.
I think they still have that grip on there, and I've looked at it and I'm like, I don't know about that.
Yeah.
And we used to throw a rail out in front of the shop all the time too.
Yes.
Right.
It's on the sidewalk or what?
Yeah, we used to skate there, and then boards would shoot out onto Tupper and into the traffic.
Yeah. Or the classic PCI sessions where it was just manual pad all day.
Yeah. There was a lot of manual sessions going on at PCI for sure.
Oh yeah. Those were the days. Just nose manis all day long.
Yeah. So skating on that little 2-stair, we were talking about it a couple episodes ago about the provincial building. Never never looked across the street at that rail at Provincial Building, eh?
I think I still look at that rail every time I come to Portage. Like, I always walk up to it with Tyson. I'm like, how do we go about hitting this? And it just, it's like, even the run up right before, I always remember that it's kind of like a crack too, that I was always scared of. It comes up like a good half inch, like, so you kind of have to gap out to the rail.
I think
too.
they've fixed that. It's different there now, I think.
Because it used to be like, what's it called? Like
cobblestone,
and then it was like concrete at the edge, and the cobblestone was sunk down from the concrete stairs.
I don't think it's like that anymore, but I'm not sure.
Yeah,
do you know?
To be honest, I actually haven't looked at it from the top. I've always just looked at it from the bottom, so I have no idea.
That was always the main issue, was the top.
Yeah. So last episode we had Clint on, and he sent us footage of him trying it.
I heard he tried it. I think he told me. What was he trying, a board slide or 50?
No, 50-50.
Okay.
And it is scary to even just watch him.
Yeah.
Like, he just like recorded one attempt, and it was scary to watch.
Yeah.
Did he hurt himself on that?
I can't remember what he said. I don't think so.
I don't know. Not in this attempt.
No.
But could have.
I think it was right around that time he was trying it too. And then or maybe he hurt himself. He was like, tried to do a trick in his work boots or something and just destroyed his ankle. I remember that. And he's like, don't skate in work boots. So it's always been burned in my head.
Well, that's good.
Yeah.
That's good.
I liked you guys were talking about that Portage Mutual rail.
Yeah.
On the last episode.
Right. And you sent that footage.
Yeah. I tried it, but there was tiles on top.
Right. Yeah.
And the whole tile right before you'd ollie onto the rail was completely broken.
Okay.
So you had to gap over that tile to the rail too.
Okay.
Which made it so difficult.
Yeah.
And then I was trying it and I slid it once, got all excited. Tried to go again, and I hit the rail with the front of my board, and the fall didn't look bad at all. But
no, it
just
didn't.
Dislocated my shoulder somehow.
Yeah, it didn't look that bad, but yeah.
It's like the worst stuff you have to try and skate in Portage because there's just no spots at all.
Yeah. So when Colin did that, he did the other rail. So he probably didn't have to worry about that tile.
Oh.
Because he hit it the other side.
What did he do on it then? He's regular, isn't he? He front board it?
That's a good question. He must have I could be wrong, but in my head, I remember him hitting the other rail on the other side. I was going to ask you, like, when you sent that footage of you hitting it, were you pushing Mongo?
No, that was...
For some reason, I remember you on top of that set.
I don't think there was any space to push. You had to do a run and jump.
Oh, okay.
It was like, there's like 10 feet.
Yeah, it's not very big up there. Like Colin he came at an angle. He came around curved into it.
Okay.
That's what he did when he did it, but
no, I don't think I was pushing Mongo. That was like right after you bullied me out of it. I remember just getting bugged so hard every time I skate. It was like pushing Mongo.
We would have these arguments.
Yeah.
And I would say, dude, it doesn't work. Like it doesn't. Oh yeah, it does. And like you can't set up in time. Oh, I can set up faster. And we'd have these arguments. I remember that.
Dude, I still kind of believe that because I could step my foot right into position and the back foot's not as important. But yeah, it's not better. That's for sure. But now I'm super good at push and switch when I do all my fakie tricks.
Oh. Yeah, that's perfect.
Because 75% of the stuff I do is fakie.
Right.
So I'm always like, yeah, it's just super comfortable for me to push that way. It's kind of a blessing that I learned.
Well, yeah, and I think there is definitely value in learning to push Mongo because I never did. And you're right, when you push switch, it is harder for me.
Yeah.
So I will give you that one.
I remember going to Winnipeg and skating the Forks or something. It's like, why is everyone looking at me? And I think Chase Blackford was like, it's because you're pushing Mongo and you're way too good to be pushing Mongo.
I've seen that before. You go to the park and this kids like hitting the big rails and stuff, and then he's
just pushing
Mongo
around.
What?
Yeah. Nobody bullied him. That's
Yeah.
the problem.
I'm thankful for your bullying.
That's good. I'm glad. So who was the main guys you were skating with back then?
First started, it was like Trevor and just skating in front of his house, hopping onto curbs and stuff.
Yeah.
And Tyler Dirtle and me spent a lot of time together. We'd go to Crescent View when there was old green benches were there.
Yeah.
They're metal benches, and they were pretty high to get onto for learning. And we'd skate those all the time. And he was actually like a lot better than me. He taught me a lot of the stuff I know how to do, because he was doing like 360 flips, no problem.
Yeah.
And full cabs and everything. And took me, and I was 2 years to land a kick flip. And I could not, I still don't have flip tricks that well. And then there's a lot of like Chase Blackbird, Dylan Sawatsky, skated a lot with him too.
Yeah. Okay.
And those youth group nights with like Colin and Bocce, skating with those guys.
Oh, okay.
They were really good.
Yeah.
And
Yeah, they were a little bit older than you, I guess.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I didn't skate with them that much. And then when I did, I think I asked Colin too many questions, and he'd start to get annoyed. I remember watching a video with Colin, and because he brought some skate videos over to Trevor's house or something to show us.
Oh, yeah.
And like every trick in the skate video was like, "Can you do that, Colin?" Yeah, I could probably do that, or I couldn't do that. And then like halfway through the video, he's like, "All right, you can't just ask me that all the time."
And Colin, being the nicest dude, just being so gentle with you too.
Oh,
right?
yeah. That's funny.
Yeah. So one of the things that I remember, that when I think of the PCI nights that we were skating there, and it was a lot of the manual pad, but Trevor doing flip tricks over the railing, the parking railing, like they had those wooden.
Trevor never flipped over those. Colin did.
I'm pretty sure Trevor did. He did
Really?
like a kick flip or something over that.
Because
I could be wrong, but
because I've always made fun of Trevor for what I call his baloney flips. He does the lowest kick flips I've ever seen, that they roll on the
I know
ground.
which ones you're talking about. I never heard them called baloney flips, but that's good.
No, the only flip trick I've ever seen over those railings, and it's burnt in my mind, is Colin did a backside flip over the railing.
Okay.
'Cause those railings were like 4 decks high.
Yeah.
I ollied it and 180'd it, and that took me forever.
For some reason, it's in my mind that Trevor did, like, I thought it was even like a double flip or something, but.
Over the rail, that's like, at that point, I was like up to Trevor's waist.
Yeah, I could be wrong. We'll have to ask Trevor about that. But didn't he have like a laser flip or something at that time too? Or what was it?
Inward heels he had.
Oh, okay, the inward heel. Okay. I don't
Still
think he
has
did that over the rail, but he had some, like, when you'd play games of skate with him, he'd always come up with these ridiculous tricks. That like, oh, I'll just take the letter.
It's like me and him playing game of skate. It's like I can't do anything that he can do, and he can't do anything that I can do.
Oh,
so
yeah.
It's just over so fast.
Yeah. It's whoever's the most consistent.
Whoever wins. And
whoever wins
I only ever pick scissors, and he knows that.
Oh, yeah.
So we don't even play rock, paper, scissors. He just goes first.
Yeah, I can understand that. I pick scissors every time, and I always lose, and then I'm like, why do I always pick it?
I pick rock every time.
Yeah.
And the only person I play in game of skate is Steve. So
I remember, do you remember the Blacktop Bonanza when the arena opened up?
Blacktop Bonanza.
You had an event.
Yes.
Yeah. And I have only been using scissors since I was like 12 years old.
Right.
Never used anything else.
Yeah.
And we had the Game of Skate tournament.
Okay.
And I used scissors, and I swear I won like every one of them. No one caught on, and I won the whole tournament.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't remember that, but
I remember
that day, but
it's so burnt in my mind because there was the big tournament, Game of Skate tournament that you had. There was quite a few people entered.
Right.
And then I won it. And then Scam, Joel and Gavin came out with a t-shirt and a hat, and they gave it to me, and they're like, "You're sponsored now."
Yeah,
and
I was actually going to ask you about that, because that is the one thing, that's the main thing that I remember about that day, is like you getting sponsored by Scam. And I was going to bring that up today too. I was like, hey, about that event we had at the arena.
I remember that was sick.
Yeah.
And that was 2009. So I've been on that team for.
Yeah. And you were the first one, right?
Yes.
That's what I thought. I wasn't, I wanted to say that the other day on one of the podcasts, but I wanted to check with you first. So.
Yeah, and at that point they were just making like a few t-shirts on the side with their characters on it. That was before they even had a headquarters or anything like that.
I should have brought it down.
That yellow one.
Yeah, like it was a yellow shirt that you got, right?
Yes.
I think I have that exact shirt in my office here.
Sweet, because mine, I went to Winnipeg right after that to go skate, and I was at Commenda, and this kid on a bike flew over the ramp while I was skating in the bowl.
Yeah.
And came down and hit. He didn't have grips on his bike. He just had the rusty ends of the handlebar.
Yeah.
And he hit me in the back and just sliced a gash on my back and ripped that shirt.
Oh, no.
And just covered it with blood. Like, I had that shirt for about 5 hours before.
Oh, no.
Which graphic was on the front of it?
Lumply.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
The one I have is like, with the eyeball.
Conkle or something like that. Yeah, so, I think they used the same shirt, and they had like 3 different characters at that time. They had like the Hungry Potato and
right,
yeah.
This one, I think the one I have comes later then, because it's like multicolored and
print on it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was probably later.
Yeah, so it must have come from when they were in Winnipeg already, but so it's not the same one. If it was the same one, I would have given it to
you. I got a lot of Scam shirts. Don't worry
about me. But yeah, that was a cool thing that happened that day when like they came out with the whole sponsorship thing. I thought that was a pretty fun way to do it.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's like you said, since 2009. That's pretty sick that that you've been part of that crew.
And like, everyone else is way better at skateboarding than me. They just keep me on because I get like, they're my homies.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
And, I do a lot of the video editing, stuff like that.
Right.
Yeah.
It's fun. I like it.
Yeah. Sometimes it's more than the skateboarding to be on the team anyway. Like it's just about being, being friends and whatnot, right?
Yeah, exactly. And I would think that like, if you're the company, the idea is you want somebody that's promoting, right? And you do such a good job of that with all your media stuff that you put out and all the stuff that you do. Like you do such a good job of representing them that it's not all about being the best. It's about the way you represent, and you represent, I think, what they are really well. So yeah, I think it's awesome.
Do you want to elaborate on that? What they are?
Yeah, like I guess when I look at Scam and kind of who they are, like they know where they fit.
Yeah, like,
right.
Know your demographic. Like,
yeah.
Kind of, it's like the Outcast brand kind of.
Yeah, exactly. Like like they're not trying to be like sponsor the absolute best skaters in Winnipeg and compete with skates. Yeah. They're like, it's a different style.
Yeah.
And like, even in like that last video that you put out, like it's a completely different style of video, and it has its place, and it just fits with the whole Scam feel. So
cool.
Yeah. Glad that I just wanted to ask you that to see if you'd say something
awkward,
offensive.
What do you mean? What do you mean by that?
Yeah. So with Scam since 2009, you put out that 4-3 video a couple weeks ago.
Yeah.
Is that how you say it? It's just 4-3?
4-3, yeah.
Okay.
Or 4x3.
Yeah.
Doesn't really matter, but.
Yeah. And how many videos have you put out with them? Like, is that like, where would that fit?
I've put out a bunch of parts on YouTube.
Right. Yeah.
Wouldn't really count those. I'd say that's the third
Okay.
of like full on videos I've made. I think that's the best one for sure. Like the other ones, good, I kind of just put all the footage I got from that summer into a video. Right. And then I kind of wish I could redo it later on. Like at the moment I was all pumped on them, but now I wish I kind of would have sat on footage longer and edited it differently. But it's out there, and it's actually only two of them are out there because one got copyright takedown. I got
because of music. Or
yeah. I got 5 copyright strikes or copyright notices or whatever on 4.3, but none of them made it get taken down. So
I was actually wondering about that because like when I was listening to the music on, I'm like, how does he get away with playing this music on YouTube?
Well, what I try and do is use really obscure music that don't have big record labels. Okay. Because some of the small record labels let you leave your music on their video. They just take all your ad revenue.
Oh, okay.
So they maybe they like that because they make some money, and I'm fine with them taking it all. Right. And I just want my video up. Yeah. But it's kind of a gamble. You don't know how they're going to take it. You don't know because they can just take it down if they want, which has happened to me a few times. Or there's just no audio on the video. They just YouTube mutes it.
Yeah, I just assumed that like it was some kind of AI on YouTube that that just notices when you have music on there and just takes it off.
Yeah, because I've also done just slowing the music down by 10%.
I heard of that. People doing that.
It up.
Yeah.
I haven't done that for YouTube videos, but for like sometimes Instagram will take it down.
Oh, okay.
And I've done that for that.
Yeah, I've heard of people doing that to fool the AI.
Yeah.
I thought that if your video wasn't being monetized, then it didn't matter.
They can still take it off.
Oh.
Like,
yeah.
It depends on the record label.
I guess, yeah.
They'll take it off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, interesting.
Like I've used Jay-Z once, and it was just like, no, this video's...
So you're saying if you go with the obscure stuff, you can get away with it?
Yeah, like more underground labels.
Yeah.
You have a higher chance, probably. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's what I do, but don't sue me.
Yeah, I was definitely curious about that because when I was watching it at the premiere, I was like, how's he playing this on YouTube? Like, did you get permission?
I was low-key nervous for that premiere.
Oh,
like,
okay.
I was like, it seems like it's going to work, but I was so nervous that they were just going to cut the audio out of certain parts or stuff like that.
Yeah, so I was wondering if like YouTube has like certain songs that you could use or something, like if you had their
they do
YouTube music.
It's all like unlicensed like background music.
Yeah.
That's what we use for our intro and outro.
Yeah,
we just found something
on
there
for that.
I mean, it
for
works
like a
for that.
full-length video, that's gonna be not good.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That video was so fun. I was working on that for like 3 years.
Okay.
Maybe.
Oh wow.
Like, I wasn't getting that much footage, and then we were supposed to have. Like, I worked on it for a few years, like just playing with green screens and old VHS cameras and that kind of stuff. Mm-hmm. And then we were gonna have a premiere in May at the Handsome Daughter. They booked the venue and everything. They were going to have like a Tony Hawk tournament before it and stuff like that. It's going to be like an event. And then COVID happened and delayed it. And then it was just like, when is it? I just want to get this video off my chest.
Yeah.
Just posted it that way.
Yeah, it's too bad that in the COVID era we couldn't have like a premiere. That would have been a blast. But I guess in some ways it's maybe like easier for more people to see it this way, but I'm not sure.
I probably would have posted it after the premiere anyways.
Yeah.
But
So 3 years of footage. One of the questions I had with watching it was, is a lot of the footage from the Thursday night skate night that Scam does, or is it like specific filming sessions that you go out and do?
The ones where you can see lots of us there, those are probably Thursday nights.
Okay.
It's like Thursdays, it used to just be like 5 or 6 of us.
Right.
And we'd just go hit the streets and get footage.
Yeah.
And now it's getting to be a lot of people. So when we go out to the streets, we get the boot so fast.
Right.
Like
Too many people.
15, 20
Yeah.
people show up trying to get it's pretty chaotic. And a lot of that was Thursdays, and then a lot of Sundays I'll reach out to guys and be like, you want to go filming today?
Oh, okay.
And that kind of stuff. But
So did you do most of the filming?
yes, pretty much everything that wasn't me skateboarding, I filmed.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. And you said that you were fooling around with all kinds of old cameras and stuff. I saw, like, I don't know what that camera was that you have, like, actual footage of, like, putting the tape in, but.
My mom bought this, like, hoarder house because she was going to flip it.
Oh, okay.
And this guy was insane. Like, he had over 20 VHS players, 17 TVs. Like,
Wow.
you could walk in the house and just walk in, like, straight. It was just stuff everywhere.
Yeah.
He had all these old cameras, and I took a few cameras, and I took this VHS cam. And so I was filming with that. The batteries didn't work. So I was finding places with a plug-in and plugging in an extension cord, and I was filming stuff that way.
Okay.
Or my truck, I could also plug stuff in. So I found a spot where
Yeah.
my truck could be close. I was using that as a generator pretty much.
Yeah.
And then I was trying to get footage from that onto my computer, and it was a nightmare.
I believe it. That would have been.
So what I did is I had this old TV with the VHS input, shoved the tape in there, immediately starts eating my tape.
Oh, no.
So I like pulled it out, and the tape's coming out, and I had to like fish it out of there.
Yeah,
and I had all my footage on this tape. So I screw it in slowly. I'm like, okay, that's not going to work. So I put it in the camera, and it starts working, but it made all the footage like really jumpy and stuff like that. I was
Okay.
like, oh man, this looks pretty cool. Like, so I bought this green tablecloth from Dollarama.
Yeah.
And I hung it up on my wall, and I went like over a dresser, and I put that TV on, cut a hole in the back, put the cords into the wall.
Yeah.
So I had my digital camera, kind of like this one, filming the TV, and I plugged the VHS camera into that TV using the
RCAs.
Yeah. And so I just filmed the TV with the green screen, and then edited it like flying through space and stuff like that.
Oh my goodness. Wow.
It was fun. And then
The process.
Yeah,
no doubt.
And a lot of the audio didn't work
Oh,
on
okay.
that camera too, which I was pretty bummed about.
Yeah.
Like, I was talking to a bum on the street where he's drinking whiskey and talking about us skateboarding and stuff, and none of that audio worked.
Oh,
So
that's too
but
bad.
I have them in the video, but
Yeah.
yeah.
Huh. And so you use that camera and then just digital the rest of the time, or what?
Yeah, I've had that same Sony Handycam that I've been using forever.
Right. Yeah.
And that with a fisheye, and then that thing can film HD, but I just put it in SD, like 4x3, because I love 4x3 because it, like when you put the fisheye on and you get the vignette and you get that VX 1000 look.
Yeah, exactly.
I love that look because you can really center the skateboarder, and that camera can film for like 5 hours on one battery.
Nice.
And one SD card. I can go all day.
Well, especially if you're doing in SD, right?
Yeah.
Like it takes
It's so sweet.
no room on a card at all.
And I edited everything on this MacBook from 2011.
Oh, wow.
So all on iMovie. If I try and edit in HD, I can't do anything. It's like 2 frames per second.
Yeah, exactly.
It's so annoying.
Even for us with the podcast, our computers are from like 2012.
Yeah.
And we like our footage is just off of iPhones, and it could, like, especially when we went into multicam, it was so laggy. So we had to buy a new computer for editing.
Oh, yeah, it's crazy. Like I tried all that vlogging stuff, and I was filming in HD with that, and
Yeah.
I was just going insane.
It's frustrating. I can imagine it would be frustrating, but we got one of those new M1 chips.
Oh, I heard they're crazy.
It is insane. Like we can film in 4K and there's no lag at all.
Yeah.
Jealous.
Yeah, it's nice.
This thing's pretty sweet.
Yeah. So you would have been doing all long lens with that camera, right?
The VHS cam.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You wouldn't have had a lens for it. And then the other thing I wanted to just talk about was the idea of filming in SD, because there seems to be a place in skateboarding right now where it's like either you film in HD or you film in SD, right? Like, and it's okay either way.
Yeah.
Like a lot of footage.
I think
that
it's
comes
just
out
like
now.
nostalgia inducing.
Yeah.
Like people want to see videos that they got hyped on when they were young.
Right.
Like that's the way, I don't know.
I think the other part of it is that, like what you mentioned already, is just framing the skater in 4:3. Just like it just looks better without like having that wide.
Yeah, I
wide
don't
angle.
like fisheye on 16:9.
Right. Yeah, and even just like the frame.
Yeah.
Is like you get so much extra on the sides.
Yeah.
Whereas in 4:3, it's like it's such a good frame on the skating, right? So I know Ben Zacharias that is filming for us here. We pulled out the old Canon GL1.
I know he was asking me some stuff about it. He's like, "What kind of fisheyes would you think?" And I was like, "Definitely like a big Opteca or something like that."
Yeah, and I think that's what he got for it. So he's pretty stoked on that. He was. I mean, if we weren't in COVID, we would have got you to do a little edit in the park.
Yeah, I was pumped on that.
And that's what he's using. He's using that GL, and he's loving like having that. I think for him, it's those things that you talked about, like that nostalgia, looking at the old videos and being stoked on the way they looked. And then the other part of it is just like when you're using fisheye, nothing works with fisheye like 4:3, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love it. It's just the easiest to edit in. Like, I'm not doing it the legit way with a VX1000 and mini DV tapes and stuff like that. So,
yeah, that's what his is. It's like the GL1 has the mini DV tapes.
Yeah. I've been wanting to get into that, but it's just a lot of money for like a VX and then all the tapes because they're discontinued now. And then like a Century Optics MK1 is like thousands of dollars now. And they just stopped making them this year too. It's like they made that lens for a long time. We
all love that footage, although I look at the old footage we have off of that GL1 and I'm like, oh my goodness, does that thing not take a clear shot? Like compared to the HD stuff now, I'm like, oh my goodness, that's so blurry. And that's one of the things that I feel like the editing that you did on 4:3, the scam video was like worked with that, like because that footage that you took off of that camera, I mean, it's the quality is lower, right?
Yeah.
And yet the way you edited it worked so well. I just thought it was so well done.
Thanks. It was nice. It was fun. Like all my other videos I made like with parts and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I just wanted to make like a just fun montage where I can just have free reign.
Yeah.
And
I like that. I like that idea. And I was pleasantly surprised at how much skating you had in that video.
I still skate, man. I still skate.
I'm not doubting it, but yeah, I appreciated that you had that much in there. That was good.
Sweet. Sometimes I'm like, do I put it in? Like, it's like I'm not that good.
Right.
So is it like sociopathic to just be throwing my stuff in with these other people? Because I'm making the video and I'm like, I make the rules. But
I understand what you're saying, but I think like you said, you're part of the team since 2009.
Yeah.
I think it's just like when I'm watching, I want to see Colin in there.
Oh, thanks.
So yeah, I liked it, and I liked that it wasn't parts as well. I like that.
It's like I didn't have enough footage either to do parts at all of it.
Yeah.
It's just going out and having fun. Like I'm just at the point where I'm just going to go have fun. Like I'm not too picky on anything.
Yeah. So speaking of having fun, how come there was no rollerblading footage in there?
You're embarrassing him.
I don't want to put a Scamskate name on something with rollerblade footage in it. Man, rollerblading's so fun. It's like a whole new world, man.
Yeah.
It's like everything that you've looked at and been like, man, I wish I could ollie high enough to get onto that or something. Like a lot of that stuff is possible on rollerblades. I don't know.
So what you're saying is that like you can look at different obstacles and different skate spots, or I guess they would be, skate spots. You can look at them differently. Yeah. And that's a big part of it.
Well, I've been skateboarding for so long, like over half my life.
Right.
It's so fun to like be learning something new again. Like you get that feeling of getting a new trick and you're like, it's hard. It's scary on rollerblades. Like you can't bail out. You got to land on your feet and slip out. Man.
Yeah. Because of the, I guess the stigma around rollerblading that's been in the skateboard scene for so long, like growing up with it. Right.
Yeah.
And when you started rollerblading, putting footage out on Instagram and stuff, it's like, what's he doing? And, but then
I don't even know you. And I came to Steve. I'm like, do you know what Colin's doing right now? He's like, I seen it.
That's so funny. You know what started it all? I was on my lunch break at work and I went to a thrift store. I found these like 90s K2 rollerblades.
Right.
And they're like the aggressive ones. And I was like, oh man, like $40 at a thrift store. Tried them on there, started rolling around. I was like, oh yeah. Went to skate night. I was ripping around on those. And then
did you catch some beef for that or?
Oh yeah. Everyone was ripping me apart.
Nice.
I don't care at all. I'm like, bring it on. That might actually be a part of it. Like
which I can like, I guess like kind of watching, like you keep putting stuff out and that was one of the things like, I guess that I respected was that you're like, whatever, I'm just going to do this. I don't care like what people think. And then the other part of it is exactly what you were saying. That's actually what happened to me with skateboarding because I grew up with BMX and BMX was the thing. And then like that scene kind of died. And when I got a skateboard, that's the way it felt for me. And so I think one other time you mentioned something about that it's just so fun to learn something new and the challenge of that. And it reminded me when I started skateboarding, like after BMXing, it was like, oh, like this is way more challenging than biking because I'd done it so long. And it's just so rewarding to get like tricks and stuff. And like you said, you're looking at different obstacles, like it through new eyes. Yeah. Really what you can do. Right. So as much as I'm not necessarily down with the rollerblading, I can appreciate, why you're doing it.
It's not like I'm going to stop skateboarding.
Right.
Right.
But I don't know. I get obsessed with different things at different times. Like I couldn't tell you what I'm going to be doing from it a year from now.
I think that's pretty cool. Yeah. Cause like eventually, like I kept seeing them like, man, like not enough skating. It's all rollerblading. But then eventually I was like, man, he just looks like he's having fun. Yeah. Like that's cool.
Yeah.
Like that's what we should be doing is having fun. So
yeah, that's what it's all about.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it seems to be like roller skating, rollerblading seems to have a little bit of a resurgence right now. I'm seeing other people pick them up and fool around in the skate parks with them and put it on Instagram. So
it's a cool culture. Like they are so much nicer than skateboarders. Like I sent a video. There's like the biggest rollerblade news is this guy, Brandon in New Zealand. Yeah, he does a weekly news, and I sent it to him, and I was like, yeah, I'm a sponsored skateboarder, and I decided to try rollerblading for one season, and he shouted me out on Rollerblade News.
Nice.
Yeah, and he's like, it's really interesting to see how a skateboarder like comes up to these spots for rollerblading. Yeah, so I got shouted out on Blader News.
Blader News.
Yeah, and then I got a flood of like 20 comments on the YouTube video.
Okay.
Nicest people. They're like,
yeah,
this is awesome. You're killing it. There's some legit tricks here, man. And I got one comment that was like, Matt, it seems like you're almost making fun of rollerblading. And I was like, I'm just out here having fun, man.
Yeah. I'd be curious to know what they see different in your approach as a skater than what theirs would be. Like,
I don't know.
I guess I can't think of why you would approach it differently. So I'm really curious of what
maybe
he
just
sees.
The way that you set up or something. Maybe I don't know.
Maybe the tricks that come to me sooner before other people. Like,
maybe
they start with different stuff.
Yeah, that could be. Yeah.
Like I found the trick I'm most comfortable with rollerblades is almost like a fakie 50 with the full cab out, which I do on a skateboard all the time. But that's what I can do on the rails on rollerblades. Is like a similar motion. So it kind of goes back and forth.
Yeah, interesting. So did you get a ton of Instagram followers when you got the shout out?
It was the shout out was to my YouTube channel, which isn't really connected to my Instagram. But I got some subscribers.
Very nice.
It's so funny. Like I'll post a skateboard video on Instagram and it's like 30 likes. It's like post a rollerblade video, it's like 150 likes.
Really?
Yeah. It's such a difference.
Wow.
Yeah, that makes me curious why that would be. Because the scene isn't bigger. Maybe that's why. Because the scene is smaller.
Yeah, I
everyone's
think it's like
more
the
stoked.
hashtags maybe gets recommended to more rollerbladers because not as many people post clips or something. My clips just get lost in the skateboard community. There's so much content, so much crazy content for skateboarding.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the other part of it. Yeah, and I remember back in the day, like you could do really well in back in I guess the 90s maybe. Yeah, it was like rollerblading was huge. I remember the Edge had a volunteer that was sponsored. Oh yeah. And he could I remember them saying that he could make like 10 grand in a contest. Really? With the rollerblades. But I don't imagine that's like that anymore.
There's some new companies, rollerblade companies, that are paying their skaters a lot of money. Like them skates, they're like giving a big percentage of every pro skate to the skater and stuff like that.
So do you follow a lot of like inline skate sites or people or
I do
for inspiration or what?
I follow I don't really watch the guys that are doing those 40 stair handrails and stuff like that. There's these guys I watch that film in VX style and they're just doing fun tricks in the street and stuff like that. The stuff that I want to do. I watch a lot of those guys.
Okay. Yeah. Nice. And you've been posting a lot lately on your fixie bikes.
Oh yeah. Falling back in love with bikes.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, that's pretty sweet. So the question that I have is, I think comes out of my own experience with having multiple interests and how to balance that.
Yeah, that's a constant battle. It's like good at everything, master of nothing.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, I never know what I want to do. There's always a lot.
I can imagine because I went through a season where I was racing mountain bikes and then still like to fool around on a BMX bike once in a while. And then, I've got some other hobbies and stuff and then skateboarding. And it's it's hard to really get into one thing and really focus on it, right? To put the time in that you want to or whatever, if you've got multiple ideas going around in your head.
Well, biking is something different. I can, Thursdays for skate nights, I'll bike from my place to the skate park, skate, and then I'll bike home. Or Also biking, I don't know, I'm getting injured a lot lately. Don't really hurt myself biking.
Yeah, exactly.
All
And
right.
it's good exercise.
Yeah, for sure.
And something's got to look cool for me to want to ride it.
Mhm.
So that's why I get so into the customization side, stuff like that.
For sure.
Are you like that with your skateboard too? Customization?
Yeah, I always go wild. Like I haven't recently, but I've had some wild grip tape
Yeah.
combinations that I've thrown together. And
Are you one of the guys that had the clear grip tape with a ton of stickers underneath?
no, it was like
Okay.
colored grip here with
Right.
this all cut up and then like
Yeah.
something across. And Scam would like do like these laser cuts and then they'd have cut offs. So I'd have all these weird random shapes of grip and stuff like that.
But you also have your own board shape, right?
Yes. And yeah, I ride board shapes from like 8.5 to 10 inches wide.
That one shape that Scam did for you, that's not the only shape that you ride?
No, yeah, I got that one. And then I asked them to blow one up, like just make it fatter, 10 inches wide for me.
Oh, okay.
Because I have these super wide indies. So they did that for me. And I've also designed a different shape. But that one shape is my favorite. That one that they call the Breckman shape.
Yeah.
Yeah, that one I like a lot.
How did you come to that shape? Like, I'm assuming that you had a few different prototypes that you went through before you got to that shape.
Yeah, it's like trial and error. I just took a board, kind of drew what I wanted, and then me and Joel sat down on the software, kind of made the shape, and then what the laser cuts kind of doesn't translate to what you see on the computer.
Oh, okay.
So he'd cut one and then I'd ride it till I break it. And I'm like, on the next one, I want it like a little bit wider here.
Oh, okay.
More egg shaped, something like that, or smaller nose, bigger tail. Took like four tries to get that board. Yeah.
Yeah.
What, how did you know is there any benefits to the shape? Like how did you know what you wanted? Like,
I just wanted to look cool.
oh, okay. It's just, there's no like physics to it or anything.
No, I just wanted a wide square board, but like not square, kind of coffin-y.
Right.
No, like once you get it, you kind of got to relearn your flip tricks a little bit. Once you figure it out, it's good. There's really, the only plus would be that it's like almost 9 inches wide, and I like a really wide board. Lots of surface area to land on. Yeah.
So when we got Scam to make our new shop decks, then they offered it in that shape, and I really wanted to get that shape, but I just have a hard time going that wide.
Oh, yeah.
And so I've been a little bit shy at getting something that wide. So I've been as much as I really wanted to try your shape.
Yeah.
I just can't get myself to set up that wide of a board yet.
It's almost like you kind of got to dive in the deep end because you need 159ers.
Yeah,
to
exactly.
really ride that board. You can do it with 149ers. I just don't like the look of my wheels being in on the board.
Yeah, I think I've got, like, even now already I'm running a 825, and I think I've got 147s, which are already that, right? So, like you say, like, for me to go to that bigger board, then it's like, oh, I got to get different trucks because I'm already not happy with how narrow they are compared to my deck. So,
but if you need a cruiser board and you don't like it, throw some cruiser wheels on.
That's true.
A sick cruiser board.
Yeah, that is true.
I really like that podcast where you're talking about portage spots.
Oh yeah,
It got me all pumped up. that Prince Charles gap, the grass gap to the wall ride spot. I love that thing. Even with the grass gap, like it's like such a struggle. You got to ollie the grass, do the wall ride.
Yeah.
Or one time I got like 180 the grass, and then like a switch wall ride to regular.
Oh,
Ooh.
Nice. That episode, actually, we got quite a few comments about the portage spots, and like people reminding us of ones that we missed, which of course we're not going to get them all, but
some of them I after I saw it, I was like, oh, can't believe I missed that one.
Right.
Like there's a few that I'm surprised that I missed, but
PCI was just the place to be.
It was,
Like I remember I was pretty good at football, and my dad was a coach, and I was at football tryouts in grade 9, and I'm just running laps around the field, just so beat. It's like so hot. And I'm just watching people skate. Man, I do not want to be here right now. So I quit the football team. And it was a big ordeal. My dad was like, "Are you sure you want to quit? Like, you're doing good. Like, you made the team. Like, let's do this." And I was like, all I want to do is skate, man. And nowadays, my dad's like, every time I see you, your shoe is still ripped up around the toes. And I know you're still skating. So it's probably like, I don't think you'd still be playing football. So
exactly.
I think that was the better choice.
Yeah. You weren't the only one. There was a few skaters that like, was that when the school first introduced football?
Yeah.
Like, was it
that
really
year
new?
was when like Arthur Meehan and PCI combined.
Yeah.
And they were going to have a football team for the first time.
Yeah. And so there were lots of dudes that were kind of hyped on that. And so they joined the team. But yeah, I remember us skating out there and while there was practices and then seeing some of the skate guys like in their football gear.
Yeah. That's what you want to be doing. Wearing tights around your skater friends.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't remember if we talked about it on that episode, but I think I mentioned the idea of that sidewalk gap.
Yeah.
Like where it went up. Were you part of the guys that were sessioning that?
Yeah, but I was never like a flip trick guy.
Right.
So I'd like 180 it and then I'd be like, I'm going to go skate the marble ledges over here. Yeah. Yeah, that wasn't my cup of tea. I definitely seshed that, but those marble benches that were right beside, I'd always be there hitting those.
I didn't realize the marble benches were up already then.
Yeah. Like the first year, grade 9, that's the year Chris Ward was president at school.
Right.
So the principal asked him, like, they're like, yeah, we're going to get some benches out here. So they were looking through them, and he's like, yeah, we should do these ones.
Yeah.
But he didn't say, like, because they're marble.
Right.
And he was like, so, yeah, we started marking those up real quick.
Yeah. And then they moved them back, I think, later because so that they weren't so skatable.
Mm-hmm.
Moved them into the grass. I think I have pictures. I don't know if I have video of us setting up a portable ramp system at PCI. I think that was if I remember,
early.
There's pictures of you using it. Like you were part of that.
Yeah. That was like right when I started skating. I remember watching Shaq. This burned my mind. Shaq doing pop shove at 50/50s on that metal box there.
Yep.
Oh, man, I thought that was the coolest thing I've ever seen. The way he could just pop right into those.
Yeah.
That metal box is sweet. Whatever happened to that thing?
I don't know. Rolly and I were looking for that in the summer because it ended up at Dakota Teepee.
Okay.
And all the other ramps are still there, but that box is missing. And so we were trying to see if it was just got moved somewhere or what, like if it was still around there, but we couldn't find it.
Is Dakota Teepee skatable?
It is skatable. They moved it this summer.
Okay.
Yeah.
We actually ran skate camp there this summer.
It's like on
kids.
smooth ground now?
It's it's not super smooth, but it's like asphalt.
Because I remember going there a long time ago, and it was rough to try and get speed for stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where it is now is better than where it was.
Okay.
But it's still.
It's kind of like skating at the BDO.
Yeah.
At the arena.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's pretty tight where it is now, but it works.
Kind of set up a little bit weird, but
Yeah.
It's funny. I always tell people, like, my whole time learning how to skate was in between skate parks. All I skated was the streets.
Yeah.
And now I even to this day, I feel kind of lost at a skate park all the time. I'm like, I feel way more comfortable in the streets.
Right.
I just do better tricks. Like, I love trying to figure out, just trying to work your brain to do something that was built on something that's not made for it.
Right.
That's like one of my favorite parts, like solving the puzzle, especially in Winnipeg, and all the concrete's trash and cracks everywhere. And I love that.
Yeah. And I think I mentioned it before, and that's one of the beautiful things about skateboarding, right? Is that we look at the world differently than other people, and so you see the environment differently, and that whole idea of like, okay, how could we skate this? Like, it doesn't look real skatable, so how do we do that? So,
and then we go to California.
Yeah.
It's like everything's perfect.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's a dream there, man.
Yeah.
You go in any direction, you're going to find something.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
So smooth.
That makes me think of when you came to Costa Rica.
Yes.
And their like skating there was pretty rough as well.
Yes. But I think they do a better job with concrete there. Like, not as much of a freeze-thaw cycle. Like
that is true.
And they concrete everything because it's so dirt cheap there. They're just like, just pave it. Like I had a lot of fun in Costa Rica. It felt like home. All the spots there.
It does, yeah, for sure. So, a couple highlights from there.
Staying at that YWAM place was so cool. Like, it's like right in the middle of San Jose. Yeah. Like just city everywhere. And then it's like this tropical paradise with all these skate spots.
Yeah. Right in there. Yeah. It was an old coffee plantation, or a place where they roasted coffee. And so just the way it was set up, like it was perfect for skating in there. It was crazy.
Yeah. That was super fun.
Yeah.
And like, where like a building had been demolished.
Right.
Those spots are so fun.
Yeah. Yeah. And that goes back again, like you're saying, like, even though we hit some skate spots or whatever, to hit those like DIY spots, I get like, that's what they would call it there. That building spot, just DIY. And, it's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
Yeah. And there's a lot of that there. And so, yeah, that's a good place to go if you want to hit that kind of stuff.
A lot of homemade skate parks too. Yeah. Just take a tennis court and make it into a skate park. Those are sweet.
Yeah. Yeah. And so when I think of that idea of like what you were saying, like going out on the street and finding the spot, I always think of Costa Rica because there's just so much there. Like the city was so big, and so, like you said, so much concrete and because it's in the mountains, like the flat prairies, it's always harder to find spots, I feel.
Hilly areas make spots because you got to do transitions. You got to do stair sets.
You end up with drops and stair sets and stuff. So, yeah, it's always awesome. When I think of all of that, then all the stuff we've been talking about, like the skateboarding, the video editing, photography, customizing bikes, doing the rollerblading.
Sounds like a lot when it's listed out.
It does, doesn't it? That's why I asked that question. Like, where do you have time for all of these things? But
it's like I get sucked into one at a time.
Right.
And then
someone will all your time.
Invite me to go skate. And I'm like, oh, yeah, skateboarding.
Yeah. I think one of the things I mentioned on earlier podcasts, though, is just that idea that skateboarders tend to be artists, right? Like it's
for sure
more so than like athletes. It's more like that idea that you're creating art, and thus the attraction to the other forms of art, right?
Exactly. Like I get so mad watching like Street League or X Games or something like that, because I think like a good kickflip or like a no comply front shove, I think that's way cooler than like a 360 flip nose slide nollie heel out or something like that.
Right.
Like I'm way more of a believer of like tricks that look cool are way cooler in my mind.
Right.
Yeah. And just being artistic about it or creative and not doing the same way, not doing tricks the same way that other people do. I really value that.
Yeah, and that's that's a thing that I love, even though like that there is that side of skateboarding where it's just like almost robotic or whatever.
Yeah.
But the other side is like the artistic side, which I just love, and I always appreciate whenever I talk to skateboarders is how artistic they are. Like they're usually into some other kind of art at the same time.
Yeah.
And it shows in the whole skate culture, I guess, like just the idea of art on the bottom of the board.
How much it like influences culture and fashion, like how many fashion trends have started from skateboarders just trying to look cool. Like,
yeah, I actually believe that the skateboard community leads the fashion trends.
Yeah.
A lot of the time, I would agree. Yeah.
Well, now it's scooter kids. Tucked in shirts.
Mm.
You know, suspenders or
Or
something.
are they taking it from us?
Well, I don't know, man. I've seen some sick scooter videos recently. I don't think that'll be my next venture, but
no, are you sure?
I just respect anything that like is hard to do and scary and you can be creative with it. I don't understand this hate between different like whatever, your wheels are different, like who cares?
Yeah, I think so. My take on this, because we have Ben here that scooters, right?
Yeah.
And he's really good, but he has such an appreciation for skateboarding. Like he watches more skate videos than I do.
Yeah.
And he has such appreciation for it. And so I've had to think about this a bit, like what is the animosity? And I think it's because 99% of the scooter kids out there are these little kids that are just parked in front of an obstacle at the park.
Exactly.
And so then they've given them all a bad rap because Ben has great park etiquette. He shares and he makes sure that he's not in the skateboarder's way and stuff. And
I've seen some older scooter kids in the city that got sick style and they're respectful. It's just kid skateboarders were the same way back in the day. I was getting in everyone's way. I was sitting on my board going down the ramp and people were getting pissed off at me. Yeah. It's just there's a skate park etiquette you got to learn no matter what wheels you're on.
That's right. Yeah, for sure. I think that the thing that's different though is it's easier to get into scootering because you got the handle. Like I think of the times where we go to Long Plains and we bring a pile of decks with us for the kids there so that they can skate. And they're like, did you bring any scooters? Because they're more comfortable to roll down the bank or whatever with a scooter where they can hang on to it rather than just have it under their feet.
Exactly. Like if I see someone that can do a nice kickflip, I'm like, respect.
Yeah.
I know you worked for years on that. Yeah. Skateboarding's so much harder, like a way steeper learning curve. Like I think if I would have started rollerblading for 14 years or whatever, like I've been skateboarding.
Yeah.
And then try and skateboard now, like I wouldn't have the attention span to spend 2 years trying to learn a kickflip now.
Right.
I can switch to rollerblading because it's way easier to get into. There's really difficult tricks and stuff like that, but it's just so much easier to go into something where you can just jump and it's connected to your feet rather than learning how to ollie and stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, skateboarding, like I'm glad I put in the work when I was an obsessed 14-year-old because I wouldn't have the time to do that now.
Right.
That's for sure. Yeah. Just have fun. Just go out
there. Have fun.
Just do what makes you happy.
Yeah.
You'll have a way better time.
Mm-hmm.
It's true.
Yeah.
Yeah. Instead of everybody just complaining about each other.
Yeah.
Because I know for me, like riding, like Ben's one of my favorite people to go out and skate with. Like, and he'll be scootering and I'll be skating. And it's just like, you know.
Yeah. And like for him, he could love skateboarding.
Yeah.
But he's put in a lot of work in scootering.
That's right.
So to go start fresh, that's a pretty hard thing to do, especially when you're so good at something.
Yeah.
Yeah. And something as hard as skateboarding.
And I think like Raleigh's saying, like to go out with him, he's so hyped to go out that like you can't help but have a good session, right?
It's actually pretty funny because a lot of the people I skate with, it's like, I don't know, like most of the tricks I do or whatever. But then, like, I'll do the most simple thing, and Ben will be like, I can't believe you just did that, and you'll get so hyped for me. I'm like, man, I just need this guy around all the time.
Yeah, it's so sick to have a hype team.
Yeah,
for sure. Yeah.
It's funny, me and Ben, like, I don't know. Did you recommend me when he was looking for a camera or something like that?
Yeah,
that's
right.
how we started talking. I've only like talked to him maybe twice.
Yeah.
We're kind of like virtual friends where we talk through Instagram and stuff like that, because we both nerd out on cameras and stuff like that. It's fun.
Yeah, that's awesome. Yeah, and that was like him getting that camera from you, like got it all started for him.
Yeah.
And and he's just hyped to film now, which we need around here because you, as you know, like there's just not enough people that want to film.
And a good filmer.
Exactly.
Good filmers.
Yeah, I don't mind filming somebody for like 10 minutes, but if they're not landing, I'm over it. But
you're flaky.
But with Ben, I went out with him the one day, and I was just trying to manual on the Bill Sticky Fingers, like that manual pad, that slanted one behind Bill's.
Oh, okay.
And
that's like relative. That was like, I don't know if that was ever a spot when I lived here. Maybe
it came later.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Anyway, I was trying for like an hour or something, and my manuals are brutal, and so I was trying, and I'm like, dude, so sorry. It was like after 15 minutes, he's like, I can be here all night.
Mm-hmm.
He's like, I love this.
It's so good to have someone like that.
Yeah. That's why like a good filmer like that is so important.
Yeah, that's my like Cody Gallant or Ben DeVoe. Like we'll go out and just film each other for hours.
Mm-hmm.
And we both understand because I'll film Ben for so long, and then we'll go somewhere and he'll film me forever to try and get a trick. And then Cody, it's like second try all the time, but he'll still film us and be like, "No, you got it," when I want to quit, and I love that. So, you're so close.
Yeah.
Cool. This was fun.
Yeah, it was awesome having you. Thanks for coming out.
Yeah, I like it.
And thanks for like again, all your positive input and feedback you give to our episodes.
Colin might be our number one fan. Just putting it out there.
Oh yeah, I want to sign up for your Patreon. I don't know how to do that.
Okay.
It's like, do you have to have an account? Maybe
you do have to have an account with them. Yeah.
Cool. I want to get shouted out every episode.
Awesome. Yeah. And thanks for doing the shout out now for Patreon.
Yes.
Appreciate that.
Yeah. Come on. You have disposable income, don't you?
Yeah. Yeah. So listen to Colin. Sign up for Patreon.
Yeah. Thanks for having me, guys.
You bet. It was awesome having you here.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Love you.